Beloved chosen one, I am Michael, and I have come to speak with you today about restoration, because I have watched you quietly grieving things you lost, years you feel you cannot get back, relationships that ended before their time, opportunities that slipped through your hands while you were not ready to catch them. I need 10 minutes of your attention today, because what I'm about to tell you will change how you see every single thing you believe you have lost. Nothing that was truly meant for you has been lost permanently. Some things have simply been delayed, reshaped, or replaced by something you cannot yet see clearly. I want to speak honestly about loss first, because I do not want to rush past the weight of what you have actually walked through. Grief is real. The years that felt wasted were not imaginary, and I am not here to minimize the pain of what genuinely hurt you. But beloved chosen one, I'm here to tell you that grief and restoration are not opposites. They exist together, and one does not have to fully end before the other can begin. I want you to think about something you have lost that still aches when you think about it. A relationship, a season of health, an opportunity you talked yourself out of, or one that was taken from you entirely by circumstances outside your control. I want you to hold that loss honestly for a moment, without rushing to fix it or explain it away. And then I want you to hear this. What was lost is not the end of the story I have been sent to tell you today. Restoration does not always look like getting back the exact thing you lost. Sometimes it looks like receiving something entirely different, something you could not have imagined asking for, because you did not yet know it existed. I have watched people spend years grieving a door that closed, only to discover later that the door closing made room for something far better suited to who they were actually becoming. That does not erase the pain of the loss. It simply means the loss was not the final word. I want to speak to the years you feel were wasted, beloved chosen one. The seasons you spent surviving instead of thriving, healing instead of building, simply making it through the day instead of moving toward your dreams. I want you to hear something important today. Those years were not wasted, even though they felt that way while you were living through them. Every skill you built simply to survive, every ounce of patience, every bit of resilience, all of it is being carried forward into whatever comes next. Nothing you endured was pointless, even the parts that felt like pure loss at the time. I want to remind you of a truth about restoration that often surprises people. It rarely arrives in the exact form we expect. If you have been praying for one specific thing to be restored, holding tightly to a very particular picture of what your breakthrough should look like, I want to gently challenge you today to hold that picture a little more loosely. Restoration sometimes arrives disguised as something you would never have chosen for yourself, and only later do you recognize it as the exact thing you actually needed all along. I want to speak now to those of you who feel like you are starting completely over, further behind than you expected to be at this point in your life. Beloved chosen one, starting over is not the same as starting from nothing. You are not the same person you were when you first experienced this loss. You carry wisdom now that you did not carry then, lessons that were only available to you through the very pain you are trying to move past. That wisdom is not a small consolation prize. It is often the exact ingredient that will make whatever comes next stronger and more sustainable than what was lost in the first place. I want you to say this with me now, beloved chosen one, whether silently or spoken aloud. What I have lost does not disqualify me from receiving restoration. My grief is valid, and it does not need to fully end before hope is allowed to begin. I release the specific picture I have been holding on to, and I remain open to a restoration that may look different than what I originally expected. Nothing I have endured has been wasted. I'm being rebuilt, not from nothing, but from everything I have already survived. I also want to address the fear that sometimes accompanies restoration, the fear of hoping again after being disappointed before. I understand that fear deeply. Hope that has been disappointed once becomes cautious the next time, protecting itself by expecting less, so there is less to lose. Beloved chosen one, I want to gently invite you to risk hoping again anyway. Not because disappointment is impossible, but because refusing to hope at all guarantees you will miss the restoration when it finally arrives, simply because you stop watching for it. I want to speak to relationships specifically for a moment, because I know some of you are grieving people, not just circumstances. Restoration does not always mean the return of the exact same relationship in the exact same form. Sometimes it means healing enough to build new connections that were not possible, while you were still carrying the full weight of the old loss. Sometimes it means the relationship itself finding its way back, transformed by time and growth on both sides. And sometimes, painfully, it means learning to live fully and joyfully, even without that specific restoration ever arriving in the way you hoped. All three of these are valid forms of moving forward, and none of them make your original loss any less real or any less worthy of grief. If this message has reached you at exactly the right time today, comment the words, "I believe in restoration," so that others walking through their own losses can find this same reminder. Before I leave you today, I want you to think of someone in your life who is quietly grieving a loss they have not fully spoken about. Someone who might need to hear that restoration is still possible for them too. Reach out to them today, beloved chosen one. Sometimes the most meaningful thing we can offer someone in grief is simply the reminder that their story is not finished yet. What was taken from you is not the final chapter. What was lost is not beyond the reach of restoration. Even if it arrives in a form you cannot yet imagine, you are being rebuilt, beloved chosen one, piece by piece, season by season, and the years that felt wasted are quietly becoming the foundation for everything that is still coming. Subscribe if this message reached you today, beloved chosen one, because tomorrow I return with another message meant exactly for you. Walk in peace and walk in hope. I remain with you.